Hey guys, welcome back to Fantasy Tipped. My name is Julian, and this is the waiver wire video for week 12 of the fantasy hockey season. Now, this is a big one, guys, because this is pretty much the halfway point of the season. If you do have a losing record, not all hope is lost, but you're definitely going to want to start making some moves so you can win a few weeks straight here to really make a playoff push. Before we get started, guys, please leave a like and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. More than half of you guys that watch these videos are still not subscribed. And if you do want to take your support to the next level, you can check out my Patreon. The link is in the description below. If you do want to check out my merch store, you can check that out at fantasytipped.com. We are now shipping to the US and internationally. All right, so let's jump into the content now, guys, and let's take a look at the week 12 schedule. You can see here, guys, on Monday, there are no games because that is Boxing Day. On Tuesday, there are 12, Wednesday 5, Thursday 11, Friday 4, Saturday 12, and Sunday 5. So because there are no games on Monday, the off nights are Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and they are pretty important this year because as you can see, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday are pretty busy nights. So you're definitely going to want to try to focus on grabbing off-night players, unless you look in your lineup and you can actually fit players, in which case you don't have to worry about that. But if you already have a full lineup on those busy nights, grabbing players that play on those busy nights isn't really going to help you. So let's take a look at the teams that have a bad schedule this week. Anaheim and Philadelphia are the two teams that only play 2 games this week, so they're not really going to be helping you if you have too many players from those teams on your team. Now, as I was talking before, guys, if you need players to play on the off nights, the teams that you're going to want to be looking at are New Jersey and Seattle. Both of those teams play all 3 off nights, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. And I will be providing quite a few options in this video. Other teams that are pretty good for streaming for off nights are Anaheim, Carolina, Florida, and Pittsburgh. Yes, Anaheim only plays 2 games, but their 2 games are both on off nights, making their players to grab not too bad. Okay, so let's jump into some forward options that you can consider for this week. And first on the list, I have Brian Russ, and I've had him here, I think, 3 weeks straight now. He's heating back up, guys, and he is a fantastic hockey player. The fact that he's down to only 62% rostered is crazy because this guy is doing well and definitely will continue to keep it up the rest of the season. Definitely add him in more leagues. And then Carter Verhaeghe of the Florida Panthers, and just like Pittsburgh has 2 off nights this week, so does Florida, and Verhaeghe always gets that top line deployment, which makes him a pretty enticing add. Then Turbo Teravainen, and he has not been good this year, guys. I'm not going to lie, but I think he's too good of a player to continue on this pace. With the 2 off nights that Carolina have this week, might be the perfect time to stream him and hope that he can turn things around, because if he does, he could be a permanent hold for you. Then Riley Smith of the Vegas Golden Knights has heated back up, guys. That line is definitely right back on fire. So go ahead and grab Riley Smith. And once he slows down, you definitely can consider dropping him again. But right now, he's super hot. Same thing with Brandon Hagel. That line with Kucherov and Point is doing so freaking well. So obviously, you're going to want to add him because those are 2 line mates that you definitely want to have a part of. Then I have Matty Beniers in Seattle Kraken, still playing on that top line with McCann and Eberle, doing very well. And because of those off nights that Seattle has this week, Beniers is a pretty enticing option if he's available. Vrana is another interesting option because in 2 games he played this year, he had a couple of points, and then he went into the player assistant program and had not played since then. But he's back with the team for practice, which means that Vrana could be joining the team and being in the lineup pretty soon, and he's a very talented player. So definitely, if he's available, shove him on an IR spot. Then Alex Killorn of the Tampa Bay Lightning is playing on that second line with Nick Paul and with Stamkos. It's pretty good deployment, and if he's available, definitely not a terrible add. JT Compher is another guy you definitely can consider adding. He's a little bit cold, but the opportunities are really there for him right now. It's a short-term ad, guys, but he's manning the top line with Rantanen and with Lehkonen. It's a great place to be, as well as the top power play. The deployment is great, but it is a short-term ad because as soon as other people start getting healthy in Colorado, he's not going to be on that top power play anymore or the top line. Then I have Jordan Eberle of Seattle Kraken, and he's also been doing very well on that line with Beniers and with McCann, and also a very, very good ad for those off nights This week, they have all three. Next is Jared McCann. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that he has been very hot and has been very under the radar on that line with Eberle and with Beniers. He's been scoring goals. Couple that with the fact that Seattle has the beautiful off-night schedule that they do this week with all three off nights. McCann will be able to fit in your lineup all 3 days that he plays. It's just a recipe for a good week if you stream McCann. Then I have Dawson Mercer and Eric Haula of the New Jersey Devils. Same thing with them. They have the 3 off nights this week, which is why I'm including them here. Mercer just got demoted to the third line with Sharon Govich. It's not a terrible line, but obviously it's not as good as playing with Jack Hughes. Now, New Jersey's constantly shuffling their lines, so it's possible that by the time the next week comes, this week 12 comes, Mercer could be back on that line with Jack Hughes, which is why I'm still keeping him on this list. And even if he's on the third line, he's still viable. Holla is actually now back on the line with Jack Hughes, so he is my preference as of right this second, but that definitely is subject to change if the lines switch up again. Next we have Dylan Dubé of the Calgary Flames, and this guy is now playing on the top line with Toffoli and with Lindholm, and he is still red hot. I really thought that he'd go a couple games, put up some points, and then would fall off again, but he's continuing to be hot, and as long as he is, guys, he's definitely worth adding to your team. Doing very well right now. And Yanni Gourde of the Seattle Kraken is someone who has been sneaky good lately, been putting up a lot of points consistently, not a lot in a specific game, but every game he's putting up a point, and that's why he's giving you a safe floor. And if you need someone for the off nights, Gourde is actually a really decent option. Then taking a look at Evan Rodriguez, and I'm not reading too much into this. He's not my favorite option, but he is manning the second line right now in Colorado. That line includes Newhook and Nichushkin. Obviously, Nichushkin is a great player, but Rodriguez is not getting top power play time, so he's not as valuable as a guy like JT Compher or Lehkonen, but he definitely still has a little bit of value, and in 2 games so far, he's got a couple of points. Then I have Yegor Sharangovich of the New Jersey Devils on that third liner now with Dawson Mercer. Again, he was on the second line just a few days ago, so New Jersey's shuffling those lines, and if Sharangovich finds himself on that second line or higher next week, definitely a viable streamer. And even on the third line, if you're in a deep league, he's also someone that you can consider for those off nights. Then Frankie Vetrano of the Anaheim Ducks. If you need those 2 off nights that Anaheim provides with the 2 games that they play, Vetrano is also an option, gives you a really safe floor with these shots on goal that he takes. And he's also been putting up points lately. Definitely the best Anaheim Duck to be streaming. Then Sonny Milano, if you're looking for a really deep league ad. Sonny Milano has been doing surprisingly well as of late, playing on the second line with Mantha and Kuznetsov. And he's available in 99% of leagues, so definitely go ahead and look at Sonny Milano if you're in need of some offense. And then finally, Ryan Donato is playing on the third line with Burakovsky and Yanni Gourde. And obviously, he's 0% roster, so he's available in almost 100% of leagues. So if you need someone for those off nights, Donato is definitely an option. He hasn't been too bad as of late. Taking a look at defensemen now, first on the list is Shane Gostisbehere, and he's been on this list for so many weeks now. I don't know why he's not more than 59% rostered. Then Rasmus Sandin, 48% rostered. Hasn't been that amazing, but is still quarterbacking that top Leafs power play, which makes him pretty valuable. Dmitry Orlov is someone who has a nice safe floor with either blocks or shots, whatever it is, a specific night. He's also putting up points every couple games or so, which is great. Then Eric Chernak is someone who's having a really nice hot streak right now. I don't think it's going to last too long, but he is putting up some nice peripherals and putting up a point every couple of games as well, which is really nice. So as long as that streak lasts, you can definitely stream Eric Chernak. Then Adam Boquist is coming back very soon from his injury. That's kept him out, and he will be the guy that's going to be manning the top Columbus power play. And he's much better than the current guy, Marcus Bjork, who's currently manning that power play. And then finally, we have Eric Gustafsson of the Washington Capitals, who's been quite hot lately. He scored a hat trick the other night, which is absolutely insane. And then he followed that up with a 2-point effort. So as long as this guy is hot, definitely someone who's streamable. You guys remember that 60-point season he had in Chicago just a few years ago. So jumping into goalies, first we have Kirill Vejmelka of the Arizona Coyotes. And if you don't care too much about goals against average, because he pretty much lets in 3 or 4 goals every single game, Vejmelka's a good streaming option. So that's mostly just for points-based leagues, because he's still giving you a pretty decent floor of points every single game that he plays. In Cats leagues, though, if you do have goals against average, not the best goalie to be streaming. Jake Allen is a decent goalie as well. Obviously, he has his ups and downs, but overall, he's been a pretty solid goalie this season. Philip Gustafsson, 34% rostered. He seems to be starting every second game for Minnesota right now because he's playing very, very, very well. And if Fleury keeps struggling and Gustafsson keeps playing well, he could continue to see half the starts in Minnesota. For now, that's going to be the case. But if Fleury starts having a whole bunch of great games in a row, they might start giving Gustafsson less starts. But for now, definitely a viable option if you want half the starts. James Reimer is another great option right now in San Jose. He's been a very, very good goalie all year long. He's only 30% rostered. Then I have my Manscaped must-add player of the video, Phoenix Copley. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code word FANTASYTIPPED at manscaped.com. That's 20% off, guys, and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code word FANTASYTIPPED. Manscaped, for a perfect gift that will be the holidays' biggest hit. Now, why is Phoenix Copley my Manscaped must-add player of the video? Well, he's been great, guys. He has taken over that starter's crease from Jonathan Quick. They are not starting Jonathan Quick ever. Like, they're just giving Copley back-to-back starts, which is crazy. And he has been playing very, very well. So if you're looking for a goalie in your league and he's still floating out there, he's starting every game and he's playing very well. Next, we're going to take a look at the Buffalo Sabres goalies, Craig Anderson and Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, otherwise known as 6K. Now, both these guys are pretty much splitting the starts evenly, it looks like right now in Buffalo. So it's not the most ideal situation because of that, but they're both playing pretty well. So definitely both viable options to have on your team. And I have Philip Grubauer of Seattle Kraken. He seems to be getting, as of right now, more starts than Martin Jones, but we're going to have to see if that continues. For now, he's the one to own. He's only 16% rostered, and you will get at least a start or two on those off nights this week, which is pretty good. And then Stalock of the Chicago Blackhawks, 6% rostered only, is finally back from that concussion that he had. And he played very, very well when he was the starter earlier this season. I expect him to have similar kind of success. He definitely is going to get more games than Mrazek. Then I have Daniil Tarasov of the Columbus Blue Jackets, and as long as Korpisalo is injured, Tarasov is going to be the starter in Columbus because Merzlikins has not been very good this year. So they called Tarasov up. They're going to play Tarasov, and he's been a lot better. He's the guy you're going to want to own, at least for the next few days, to get a couple more starts. Then Lucas Dostal of the Anaheim Ducks, with both Gibson and Stolarz hurt. He's the guy that you're going to want to take a look at in Anaheim, getting all of the starts, and actually isn't doing too bad. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. I just want to wish all of you guys a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Enjoy and relax as much as you guys can. It's the time to do so. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you in the next episode of Fantasy Tipped.